So, dear students, dear fellows of Futura, here we are. I would like to welcome you all to this Sunday live session on the future of university, a spotlight initiative, a special joint effort of the Italy Expo team and the United Arab Emirates University, the first and the largest academic institution in the United Arab Emirates. A special cooperation also ratified some months ago to make these relations stronger and stronger on the road to Expo 2020 Dubai. This live session is just one of the milestones of this cooperation, which is starting right now, right here, in the digital arena of the future education digital challenges. I would like to express my gratitude, our gratitude and appreciation to all participants, all students, more than 500 students, to all mentors that are making this process possible. Thanks for your time, for your overall commitment, for the huge effort, for the spirit of the initiative. We are so grateful for all of these. This live session happens around 10 days after the big opening of this challenge-based learning process, and exactly 10 days before the project submission deadline on November 24. Indeed, it is time to come together and to make this moment really special. It is time to be inspired by the words of our guest today, our keynote speaker that will lead all of us to the University of the Future scenario. Professor Nihel Chabrak, which is the Executive Director of the United Arab Emirates University Pavilion and CEO of the Science and Innovation Park of the University. Good morning, but before starting, I'm more than pleased to leave the floor to the Commissioner's General Office for Italy participation at the Expo 2020 Dubai, Paolo Glisenti. I'm leaving the digital floor to him.
Hello, good morning to everybody. Good afternoon if you are somewhere in the Emirates. Let me just say thank you to the University of United Arab Emirates, and thank you, Nihel, for making this possible. I think this is, we are setting a milestone both for Expo and for education. For Expo, I think we are setting a precedent which will make Expo a true successful global event, the first global event after the pandemic, by setting a model of collaboration and cooperation. I think the essence of Expo is inclusivity, cooperation, collaborative modes. This is the spirit of Expo. And if you look at the statute of Expo, the international treaty that was signed by participant countries many, many years ago, the first goal of Expo is education. It's not entertainment, it's not tourist attraction, is education. This is the first word in chapter 1 of the international treaty. So I think we are setting the precedent for a successful Expo. Second, I would like to thank you, Nihel, because we are setting the model for future of education in a true sense of the word, meaning that we believe, and I think you do also, we share this view, that the future of education will be generated by multidisciplinary, multi-sectorial, multi-countries offers of teaching and learning. Digital learning for sure, but also co-generated education models, co-produced by teachers of different countries. So I think we are setting a milestone, again, let me tell you, in the sense of starting the new mode of setting models for future education. So my gratitude is sincere, really appreciated. I think this is the beginning of a long road forward to the future of education and to the future of ourselves all together. I want to take this opportunity in closing my remarks to wish good luck to the students that are participating in this amazingly large, wide, open, participated digital challenges. Really, I'm really impressed by how large the audience is and how many of you are, and from how many countries. So good luck. I know a few weeks from now your challenge will be finished, and I look forward to seeing you all in Dubai in our pavilion, which has a beautiful educational lab to host you and host your activities, and of course in the pavilion of the United Arab Emirates University. I think we will set a precedent for many countries to follow, and I'm very proud to be part of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Commissioner General Office, for Italy participation in the Expo 2020 Dubai. That is just the beginning of this process, and it is just with great satisfaction that I now pass the torch to the keynote speaker of today, our guest, Professor Nihel Chabrak, and I will have the digital floor.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Thank you, Paolo. This is, I mean, I'm really very thankful for this invitation to be a keynote speaker in this event as part of the digital challenge about the future education. And as you mentioned, education is very important, and it's not only the matter of universities, it is the matter of everyone. And Expo interest in education is very important and is obvious. And I think that in this time we need more than ever a new model of education, and what the students are trying to achieve. And I'm happy that among the international students that you have, many of them come from UAEU. So I would like to mention that UAEU is the only academic institution to have its own pavilion at Expo 2020. It will be in the Mobility District. This is an extraordinary window of opportunity to reposition the UAEU as leading institution and as an institution that is shaping the future by offering a disruptive model of higher education and by contributing to the country's objective of creating new jobs in the knowledge economy. And this is, of course, in the context where the Arab world is expected to experience in the next 10 years the 100 million youth unemployment challenge with the projected youth bulge demographic transition. This fact has been raised by many international organizations such as the United Nations and the World Economic Forums in multiple reports. And there is no country in the world that could create such big number of jobs. We know that, for example, the US economy could create 3 million jobs in a year. So in 10 years, we have only 30 million jobs. So what will happen to the 70 million young people who would like to have a decent work and to be part of society? And if we don't address this problem, we have an increased risk of radicalization in the region that it is our responsibility to solve. Moreover, the recent COVID-19 crisis has made the need for innovative approaches to higher education even more apparent. For instance, universities are called to leverage on technology to promote flexible, experiential, collaborative, and challenge-based learning in real-world settings. If and how we will be overcoming these challenges will decide on how the future of not only the UAE, but the whole world will be shaped. And this offers, of course, as I mentioned, a formidable opportunity for the UAEU to position itself among the first movers in the space of the next generation of higher education institutions at the global level. The vision behind the UAEU Pavilion, called the University of the Future, is to showcase an innovative approach of higher education to overcome the challenge of youth unemployment by creating job opportunities and to transform the 100 million unemployment challenge that I mentioned into 100 million shining stars. So my message to all students and the message of the University of the Future to the students: we challenge you to change your idea of success. Your goal is not to achieve your degree anymore. Your goal now is to acquire the skills, attitudes, and capacities that are necessary for continuously advancing your success in the future, to be lifelong learners able to create and co-create your careers. We want you to become intentional learners and to focus on skills and competencies instead of the existing jobs that we know will disappear in the next 10 years with the fourth industrial revolution and the challenges of the VUCA world where we are living today. It is this mindset that lies at the core of everything the UAEU Pavilion stands for and which we call being a pathfinder. Indeed, our students in this University of the Future are called pathfinders. And who is a pathfinder? A pathfinder is someone who is not driven by a reward, like a degree, but who is driven by the passion and sense of agency and responsibility towards solving the problems of the future. The UAEU Pavilion will showcase the model of higher education that provides the opportunity and ecosystem for students to develop this mindset and to acquire the necessary entrepreneurial skills and become a pathfinder. The UAEU Pavilion programming has 4 pillars. First, a program that is going to be a pilot of the University of the Future curriculum that we call the Curriculum of the Future, and this program is the Pathfinders program. The exhibition, which is called the University of the Future, which is offering to visitors an experience or an immersive experience of what a Pathfinder is. The third pillar is the 100 Million Stars Labs, where we will bring together different young people from different regions to think about other initiatives besides the University of the Future on how to solve the problem of youth unemployment. And finally, joint events with other countries' pavilions. And we have already many events planned to be co-curated with Italy Pavilion. The Pathfinders program is a 6-month program to be implemented as a test, as I mentioned, and to showcase for what we call the curriculum of the future. This curriculum was designed to rewire the attitude of young generations of the region towards the future, where students are not aiming for a degree, but for co-creating solutions and opportunities. As I mentioned, students are called pathfinders, and pathfinders are those who live for a purpose higher than themselves. They are entrepreneurial and have a growth mindset. They seek lifelong learning to understand the challenges our society is facing and get the knowledge and attitude to solve problems and create abundance. The Pathfinders program reflects the University of the Future approach to equip students with the right mindset and key future of work competences that are transferable skills and attitudes necessary for survival in today's complex global society. The curriculum of the future is based on an individualized and flexible model, which is not time-based and designed to offer a learning journey through experience of global micro challenges. Developed applying a design thinking methodology that involved many stakeholders, including students, academia, and industry, the curriculum of the future is composed of 5 phases. The first phase is inception, where students will learn what we call the survival skills. The second phase is pathfinding, where the students discover their purpose and identify the macro challenge where they would like to enroll in a coalition to solve this macro challenge. The immersion phase is composed of 3 deep dives, 1 academic, 1 professional, and 1 personal, that will give the students the possibility to navigate the problem space and to better understand the challenge at hand. The 4th phase is the conception, where the students are going to develop an understanding of the solution space by learning about the existing solutions, developing their skills in order to develop a new solution, test the solution, and come up with a viable solution. In the fulfillment phase, which is the last phase, the students have to bring that solution to market, either through the challenge holder that submitted the challenge, or by creating their own startup. And in all cases, the students would have created their own jobs, which makes this university as a unique university that creates job creators instead of job seekers. So the curriculum gives pathfinders to discover their passion and to follow an individualized path on a mission to solve one of the world's most pressing global challenges. And instead, as I mentioned, of choosing a major, the pathfinders, who will be supported by mentors instead of university professors. So the mentors will be called path enablers. The students will declare a mission and enroll in one of 4 coalitions to reimagine life. So the macro challenges, which are aligned with the SDGs, are around reimagining life, because we want to celebrate life in the University of the Future. We have challenges related to extending life, which is related to health and well-being. We have challenges related to sustaining life, which are related to environment and food security. And then we have challenges related to enhancing life, which are related to inclusiveness, job creation. And finally, we have challenges related to expanding life, which are related to space and artificial intelligence, sorry. This program is going to be implemented first as a pilot from February to June 2021 at UAEU, and it is going to be offered mainly to UAE students before being offered at Expo 2020, starting from October 2021. And in this second pilot, we will take international students. So anyone who is interested to enroll in this program could apply and experience the University of the Future. It will feed in the future, these 2 pilots, into the first challenge-based bachelor degree in impact-driven innovation in the UAE and worldwide. At Expo, as I said, the program will be hosted in the UAEU Pavilion, but participants will be exposed to the whole Expo site through planned sessions and support of experts from all the countries' pavilions. The process of identification of the challenges is also grounded in the Expo 2020 and involve organizations and companies that will be represented in it. The challenges at Expo 2020 will be around mobility, opportunity, and sustainability. Now, we invite you to a glimpse of the program through what the Pathfinder's journey looks like.
Where am I going? What am I here for? Could things be any different? Can I really make an impact? I refuse to sink in questions. I'll go and find the answers. We're not afraid of doing things differently. We want to learn and make, try and fail, work together and co-create. We are not made to sit down and wait for the world to change. We won't give up until realities are transformed. We are Pathfinders. Join the Pathfinders program, offered by United Arab Emirates University at Expo 2020 Dubai. Find your path, change the present, and build the future.
So I hope that this presentation and the video give you an idea about the University of the Future and the Pathfinders program that will be offered starting from February 2021, first at UAEU, and then in October 2021 at Expo. And this time it's going to be for an international cohort of students who will be spending 6 months at Expo to work on challenges and to be exposed to the whole Expo site in order to learn and deliver these solutions. Thank you very much for your listening, and I'm happy to take your questions if there are any questions.
So thanks, Nihel Chabrak, for this outstanding presentation, which is really connected with the educational model, the challenge-based learning process, and the construction that you made with the first challenge-based bachelor degree. And this is a great honor for us to make this presentation at this digital arena. So in regarding to the digital challenge, I'm more than pleased to present our youth, the peer mentor of the Italian Pavilion at the Expo 2020 Dubai, students, boys and girls that are assisting, the students joining this competition. They are 6, so we have 6 more and general question. So I would like to start from Giorgia Ferraro from the peer mentoring program. So I leave Giorgia Ferraro the floor for a question. Giorgia.
I think you are muted, Giorgia.
Okay, sorry, here I am. I hope you can hear me now. Thank you, Lorenzo, and thank you, Ms. Chabrak, for this, for your inspirational words. I would like to boost a little bit this debate with some questions that have arrived from our teams, from our digital challenge. And in particular, a lot of students right now are working on the human sphere of future education and how this will be changing in the next few years. So in this regard, what are, according to you, the ways in which students will be able to interact and connect in a university which is becoming, also due to the current international crisis, which is becoming more and more digital, which is the key for students to continue to be interacting and connecting more and more?
Thank you, Georgia, for your question. It's a very important question. And as you mentioned, I mean, the COVID-19 somehow created a new world. And in this new world, digitalization has been accelerated. In few months, typically, we started new ways, new channels, new approaches for teaching that we spent years actually to make happen. And this is, as I mentioned, it's an opportunity. Of course, we hope that in the future, we will be able, and this is actually the philosophy that we have in the University of the Future, which is actually to have a blended model. So we want to keep the face-to-face because it is important to have this interaction, but not everything should be face-to-face. And we need also to leverage the technology to offer the possibility to students to interact, and mainly that this University of the Future is going to have what we call Institute of the Future in other countries. And so in this network model, we want the students, maybe students in Africa who are working on the same challenge in the UAE. And so we offer them the possibility through a technology platform to interact and to share ideas and thoughts in order to create the best solution. So technology is extremely important. And because of COVID-19, we have now better technologies, we have better tools to leverage and to use to improve the connection and interaction between students, whether in the same institution or in different institutions in different countries.
Thank you, Georgia. Thanks, Nihel, for your answer. I would pass to the next member of the Italian P Mentoring Program, Lorenzo Tacchi. Lorenzo, are you here? Lorenzo, your microphone is off. Please. Lorenzo, the floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so thank you. Okay, so thank you very much for your inestimable words. So currently, as you surely know, we are all partaking in the so-called digital challenge. And as a peer mentor, the more this competition goes on, the more I realize that focusing on what we can effectively do to help both our schools and universities within such a dire period is becoming more and more essential. So my question is, how could this whole project and all its subsequent opportunities you've been presenting within these last very precious moments be shared to as many students as possible, as the lack of information upon such projects is sadly a former problem at the moment?
So thank you, Lorenzo, for the question, but I just want clarification. So your question, is it about how this project could be extended to involve as much number of students as possible?
Yes. Yes. How can this project be shared to as many people as possible so that these opportunities will not be lost? That's the question.
Yeah. Thank you, Lorenzo. I get you now. It's very clear. Thank you for this question. As I mentioned, so we we believe that this model is going to make the difference for many students, and not only students in the region, because actually when we started, we were inspired by the challenges that we have in the region. But then actually, when we look at Africa, we know that, again, I mean, in Africa, there are 150 million jobs to be created. And now with the pandemic, we know that many economies are going to suffer even more, unemployment, and it could be at very high level. So this is something that will help everyone in the world. And that's why actually the model of the University of the Future is based on this network model. So our aim is to allow other countries to have institutes of the future in their countries, and to be able to work to establish this network that will be connected by a technology platform. And also we will be able to to give our curriculum and to train the trainers in order to establish those institutes in the different countries, so that they can extend the offer to the students in these countries who are not able to come, for example, to the UAE and take the impact-driven innovation bachelor degree. So that's our plan. And at the Expo, when I was talking about the 100 million stars labs, part of the 100 million stars labs is to create what we call the 100 million stars alliance. So this alliance is a group of universities, organizations, foundations, NGOs who would like to support the University of the Future and help expand it and localize it in other countries, so that we can reach to the maximum number of students. So it is in our plan, and we are also very aware of the need to extend this university. And also one important thing is that we want this university to be free. So we are doing everything in our best to improve the business model and to revolutionize the existing business models, so that this university also will be free for everyone in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lorenzo.
From Lorenzo to another Lorenzo for the next speaker, which is Sara Distante. Sara, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Lorenzo. Good morning, and thank you very much for being here. At least here is morning. Nice meeting you. I just wanted to ask you, which kind of suggestions would you give to the students that are taking part in the digital challenges right now in terms of innovation? What does innovation mean to you?
Thank you, Sarah, for your question. This is very good question and important question. And also, I will give you an example, being inspired by the first pilot of the Pathfinders program that we are going to offer in UAEU. So typically, the narrative and the challenge that we offer to our students in this first pilot that will start in February is to tell them, look, we have been, we went through an unprecedented pandemic, which is, we are still, living and affected by this pandemic until today. And so many things could be done in a different way. We discovered that, for example, we can travel less and we can do much more things online. We can have a different form of tourism. We can have different channels for supply chain. We can have so many different things that no one was able to imagine before the pandemic. So the challenge that we offer to our students, tell them, okay, let's be even more radical in our innovation. And the UAE, as you know, has a very ambitious project for the future. So the UAE would like to build the first human colony in Mars by 2171. So we told them, well, let's offer you the possibility to build this first human colony in Mars. And somehow we remove all the constraints that we have on Earth and tell them, innovate, stretch your mind, think about new horizons. And then once you have those new ideas, bring them back to Earth. Because what the solutions that the students could develop for Mars, we have some applications on Earth. So if we want, for example, to innovate and, have food, for space and food for the first colony in Mars, maybe actually this will solve the problem of developing food or solving the problem of food security in remote areas for remote, communities, etc. So it's very important to be wild, in innovation, and not to restrain and be limited with the a priori knowledge that we have on Earth.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. From the innovation question to the next question is the question from Khadija Taufik. Khadija, are you on?
Yes, I am. Could you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning, Professor. Thank you so much for your presentation and for the motivation you're giving us to think outside the box. My question to you was, are there any particular sectors you are aiming to have an impact on, considering also the future of the job market and decisions that youngsters might be making right now, like regarding their future career paths?
Yeah, thank you, Khadija, for this question. It's a very important question. I don't know if you are aware, but many studies, recent studies, mentioned that almost 80% of the jobs we know today will disappear. And my problem as an educator is that we are educating students for jobs that will disappear in the future. So that is why we need to be radical in innovation and to change the way how we prepare students, and the need for the students to be able to learn by themselves. That's why I was saying in my presentation, we need intentional learners. Learners who are able to learn by themselves and to cope with the change that, and the world in which we are living, a world with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of volatility, a lot of ambiguity. So the way how the curriculum is designed in the University of the Future is mainly to transfer to students or to educate students the transferable skills, attitudes that they can apply when they are learning, when they are in the university. They can apply to a specific problem or challenge. But then actually when they move to another career, because students in the future, when they will start their career, the lifelong, job will not exist anymore. So you will need to create and recreate your career by yourself. And what you learned, all the skills that you learned, metacognitive, cognitive skills, emotional, social skills, procedural skills, all these skills, you will be able to use them and to adapt them to different circumstances and to different contexts. And that's the best gift you can get from the university, because that's the way how you will be able, even when you just discover that you are not in the right job, after you have made like 4 years, studying to be an engineer, you discover that this is not the job you want. But actually in this model, we offer you the possibility to recreate and to move to another job very easily. And please let me tell you the story, because this University of the Future has a beginning. And this beginning, it's a student that we have at UAEU. Her name is Shaima. So she is the first Pathfinder. I always say, you are the first Pathfinder. So Shaima actually is a chemical engineer But then actually when she was about to graduate, she came and told me, "Doctor, I'm not the person. I discovered that I don't want to be a chemical engineer. My path is completely different. And I want to do other things. I want to engage in so different, aspects in life, sustainability, and she started actually going through different experiences. She created a startup, and then actually she started working and established ISEC in the UAE. And so now actually she is a completely different person. Why? Because she was able to take her destiny in hands and to learn how to recreate herself every day.
Thank you so much for this message.
Thank you, Khadija.
Thank you, Khadija, for your message, for your expression. And then let's move to the question from Thea Oxa. Thea, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. The program is very inspiring and also, may I say, futuristic. I wanted to ask you something about the causes of unemployment. So to go back to the roots of the problem. So what do you think are the main causes of unemployment beside the COVID-19 pandemic that we are facing nowadays in the younger generations?
So can you repeat, what do you want to know about the roots of the problem? Why do we have unemployment?
In the younger generation, yes.
Well, wow.
Yeah, it's a big question.
It's a tough question. And if I really answer this question, normally we should have solved the problem since years. But let me tell you something. So first, and as I mentioned, the problem that we have in the region of unemployment, youth unemployment, was compounded by the demographic growth. So we have, a big number of young people in the region. And again, these are statistics. So 100 million in 10 years are going to job market, and you need to create jobs. It's almost impossible. No government can create such a number of jobs. There is no economy that could create such a number of jobs. And that's why we need actually to be, more creative. So the gig economy, the different approaches that we try to develop today are somehow trying to address this problem. So the demographic, of course, actually, when you have more people, you might create a demographic dividend, okay? But this is only if you have solved the problem of unemployment. The other problem of unemployment is also the responsibility of higher education. Unfortunately, we have many students who are trained for jobs which are no longer needed on the job market. So the universities that were established, the model of higher education that we have today, is based on, the model that was developed hundreds of years ago, even 200 years ago, for the Industrial Revolution. After 200 years, the world has changed, but the higher education did not change. So we are still, using the same model, and we are still doing, segregation between disciplines and focusing more on knowledge. So what you get in universities today is more knowledge and not necessarily skills. Even though we say we are offering students certain skills, but this is not true. The focus is still on knowledge, and this knowledge is related to jobs which are no longer existing or no longer relevant. So of course, you irrigate the market with graduates who don't have the competencies of which are required by the industry. And of course, this problem is also compounded by the fact that industry and academia don't work together. So academia continue thinking and acting without looking at what industry needs, and industry does not have the channel or the opportunity also to talk to academia and to work together in order to solve this problem. So the fact that we have a gap between the students we graduate and the employees the industry needs create job seekers. And of course, what happens is that most of the time we have like, oh, we need to upskill the students. We need to reskill the students. So it is strange that the students that has just graduated from the university needs to be reskilled or upskilled. So what happened during the period of time that the students spent in the university? Okay, and of course there are other more economic factors and social political factors that explain the unemployment issue.
Thank you very much. You were very clear.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Thea, for the challenging question and for the really exhaustive answer from Professor Nihel Chabrak. Let's move to the latest question. I'm moving to Nicolò Lanfranchi. Nicolò?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone, and especially to the Professor Chabrak. It is a pleasure to have you here, and we are sure this will serve as a stimulus to the students following the session. So following the work proposed to the digital challenge teams, the economic factor is very relevant, is always considered. So the question is, did international experts have considered how high quality education and future education be financed, especially in poor countries, given that the social transformation we are undergoing requires huge expenses in tech tools and effective buildings, great human resources, and so on and so forth?
I think I understand your question, but I mean, I'm gonna try to answer, but if I don't understand, please correct me, and then I will try to answer it again. What we are trying to do through the University of the Future is something that goes beyond what higher education is doing today. Now, if you look at universities today, you will see that they have huge campuses. They have a lot of infrastructure that they need to fund. And of course, this makes it challenging for countries with limited resources. And so this affects education. So when we say education for all, SDG 4, well, this is not possible because the model, the business model of universities makes it impossible for certain countries to have quality education for everyone, okay? So the way how we are doing the University of the Future, first we are using partnerships. So SDG 17. Partnerships is very important. The problem is that everyone wants to recreate the wheel. We don't need that. There are abundant infrastructure, resources, materials that could be used that does not require us to have everything in-house, which makes it possible for a university first to become borderless, which means the university is going to be everywhere. So you don't have a campus somehow, okay? And it's possible for the university to have very limited infrastructure and very limited number of faculty members. So I'm giving you an example. Why should we hire a faculty member if I know that the course is available on Coursera or even on YouTube? So why actually adding this cost? Because when you add this cost, you make the cost for the university higher and you make the fees for students higher. And that's why our aim is that this university is going to be free for students. And so when you make it free, it becomes accessible to anyone, okay? So it is really important to use partnerships effectively. It is only very important to use resources where they are and tap into these resources where they are in order to offer not only the best content, but also the best experiences that are in the world, in a real world setting. Because it's good to have students and to have them in class, in classrooms. But this is not the real world. We prefer that students learn from the real world and go out to learn and to get, better sense of the reality where they are. So for example, one of the challenges I mentioned is poverty alleviation. So the students need to understand what poverty is. So first, actually, the knowledge they need to have should be in a way that gives them a systemic thinking. So poverty could be, explained by many factors: economic, social factors, political factors, natural factors, etc., etc. So the students, in order to be able to offer a good solution for poverty alleviation, needs to understand and to have a systemic thinking of the problem of poverty. So the academic knowledge the students should have is multidisciplinary. Is no longer, and that's why we say we don't have colleges, we don't have like engineers and lawyers, and no, maybe actually you will need to go through all these topics in order to be able to solve the problem. That's one. Second, if you don't experience poverty yourself, how would you like to solve the problem? So having a personal experience of what poverty is important. And third, a professional experience, another deep dive, which will make you more able to engage with stakeholders who have been affected by the problem of poverty. Could be communities, could be government, could be foundations, could be international organizations. So the fact that you interact with different people and have different perspectives about the challenge make you able to develop the best understanding. So all these experiences don't happen in a university. Those experiences require you to go outside. So the need for big universities is no longer the case. The need for huge infrastructure is no longer the case. What we want is to invest money in what matters and not in superficial, infrastructure that we don't need. I hope that I answered your question. I'm not sure if...
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. I do actually have another question for you, which is quite related. And the question is, we take access to the World Wide Web as for granted, we can say, when we think about the education of the future. Therefore, how can we not create inequalities without the universal right to access the web?
Without, sorry?
The access to the website, to the internet.
Okay. Yeah, good question. And that's why I said, the digital does not solve all the problem. I mean, we need like different approaches. But at the same time, look, Nicolo, I really know many inventors and innovators who have been inspired by the pandemic. And, you know, I mean, we have people who are not able actually to follow, you know, classes because they don't have access to internet. And so actually this is a big challenge. But I think actually, I believe that in each, you know, challenging time, we have opportunity to find invention and innovation. And I hope that this will be addressed by the entrepreneurs and by innovators so that we can go beyond actually this problem, which is, as I said, which is very important. And again, I don't believe in a totally digital world. I still believe that we need still to have like the face-to-face, and maybe, you know, with new approaches, we can, you know, reduce the gap and the divide.
Yeah, thank you very much for your answers. I hope that they will be clarifying for the audience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Nicola. Professor Nihel, we start to receive several questions from the teams, but we have no, more time. We just want to collect a couple of quick questions before closing the session and before being in time and close this session. I would ask Khadija Taufik to pose one of the questions that we received the Digital Arena. Khadija, which is a really practical question, actually.
Yes, Professor, there has been this technical question on behalf of the teams, and it's regarding the 6-month program and the 30 international students that will be participating. And the question is whether there will be a criteria of selection for the students based also on geographic representation. So is this something that has already been defined in the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the program, so we still did not start the call for application. It will be posted on our website. So the UAEU Expo 2020 website. And of course, all the criteria will be announced. And so the students who would like to join, they will know exactly the different phases. We have 4 phases for application. And after passing a phase, there are new criteria until we shortlist the 30 students for the program to be held in Expo 2020.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, thanks, Khadija. Probably the last one, really the last one, Giorgia Ferraro.
Yes, some students were asking if how is the application going to work, but you already clarified a little bit. But if there are any, if everybody can apply, or there will be a majority of people coming from United Arab Emirates. There are also a lot of United Arab Emirates students in our teams, so it's a little bit of the entrance from geographical positions.
So the first pilot that we are going to have starting from February to July 2021 is going to be exclusively to students and fresh graduates from mainly UAEU, but other universities in the UAE. And we will be taking 60 students. So this is going to be mainly for UAE students, whether expats or nationals, but it's going to be mainly for UAE students. Starting from October, so for the program at Expo, the plan is to take 30 international students. So the majority are going to be international. We want to have as much as possible students from Arab, Africa, and South Asia, but we will also have international students. So for the time being, there is no limitation. Any student anywhere could apply for this program.
Thank you. So students, take notes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
we encourage students to join. I would like to say thanks to all members of the peer mentoring program, Giorgia Ferraro, Sara Distante, Lorenzo Tarchi, Khadija Taufik, Tea Oxa, Nicola Lanfranchi, and the whole teams of this extraordinary peer mentoring program. I would also say thanks to the directing, Antonio Giametta, for being the manager of this live session, and of course our great appreciation and gratitude to Professor Nihel Chabrak. Thanks, Professor.
Thank you, Lorenzo. Thank you, all the Italy Expo team for the invitation, and I really wish good luck to all students who are working on Future Education Digital Challenge. We need you. You are the ones who can make the difference. Believe me, the most innovative ideas will come from you, and we want you to express your aspirations and your ideas in order to change education of the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. All in all, look like this is the end of this live session, but this is just the beginning of our common path towards Expo 2020 Dubai. I would say thanks and good luck for the all teams joining this competition on behalf of the All Italy Expo team. We strongly believe that this commitment is part of the answer. How do we prepare ourselves to the future and for the future? So thanks, thank you very much for being with us, and goodbye to everyone. Thanks, Professor Nihel Chabrak. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.